I love the quote, "When you can't change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails." Whether we are in a virtual simulation in what some call the Matrix, there is no such thing as dying, it is just leaving the body. That doesn't make it better or worse, it's part of the story. What is the greatest and most important thing is that we are moving toward truth in spirit. We are moving toward truth in spirit because this entire game here is one massive, huge deception. Why? To hide us from ourselves. To hide our true beingness from ourselves. To make us feel like we are small human beings. To make us feel like all of this is the real thing and this is all there is. We are only these bodies and only these minds and only these thoughts. That's not true. That's just a minuscule, a tiny expression of who we actually are. That is coming out. I think if I look to the year 2035, 9 years from now, it is still chaotic. There is still a lot of transformation. But the baseline perception of what our reality is will have changed by then. Fewer people, far fewer people, will actually view this world as solid, material, or real. They won't believe the current origin stories. A lot more people will be closer to the truth at that point. Think about how your life has changed since you have been questioning all of this. When this happens on an even larger scale, hundreds of millions of people, we are going to see vastly different thoughts. We will see vastly different ideas. Nothing is going to happen overnight. This might take a whole generation or two to really trickle out, but it is happening. In all of this, our main focus needs to be as balanced, as harmonious as we can be. We need to do the work that shows up for us. We need to heal our old wounds. We need to forgive ourselves. We should not give ourselves grief about the stuff we believed in. We need to transform the guilt and the shame. Guilt and shame have been so ingrained into our existence. For some people, these are constant companions throughout their lives. Guilt and shame, they constantly feel guilty about something or ashamed of something. It absolutely keeps them from experiencing something deeper, more profound. That was a tactic that's big on the religious side of things. We are going to see everything. Everything will be so much more visible. If you could rewind with your current awareness, if you could go back to the year 2010 or 2008, from that perspective, look at what we are seeing today. It is insane. It is literally insane. It is unbelievable what is being talked about today on a political stage and everywhere else. We force that into the limelight. There is no backing away from it. A lot of people keep hoping that we are going to return to some level of normalcy. For some, that is 1986. That was their level of normalcy. For others, it is 1992 or the 70s or the 50s. It doesn't matter. We are never going to return to that level of normalcy because it wasn't normal. The world wasn't normal. It was just as insane, only much better hidden. The insanity happened more in the shadows than out in the light. Now it is out in the light. That is what makes it so valuable in this process. I will repeat this. You are most likely part of a group of people that will thrive more than ever before in the next days, weeks, and months. The more you expand your awareness, the more you become that which you truly are, which is infinite. The more of that you experience, the better your life becomes. You begin to thrive. At the same time, you are still going to be able to observe the insanity unfolding. That is the challenge. That is why we need to stay strong and centered. That is why we need community and communication. That is why we need to show up for each other. That is why we need to remind each other of what is happening. Everything is coming down. Every last system of lies and deception is coming down. If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then in a year from now, or 2 or 10. But it is coming down. It is in the process already. It is not something that needs to start happening. It has started. It is in the process of happening.